Manchester United have themselves a tough start. So what we've done is we've put match day 1 through 10, what we've seen for Manchester United now that the schedule is out. And to the side of that, you can see the results they had in this fixture last season, just as an idea how it could look if they were to repeat those performances, you may remember, at Old Trafford against Liverpool, losing 5-0.
Far from me to throw, what's the terminology you use here? Scupper this segment. Although I've scuppered many a segment over the years, it has to be said, that's had producers banging their head on the wall. But listen, there's two things. One, you have to play these teams anyway. And I understand, new manager, wanting to get off to a good start, positive, blah, blah, blah. However, I'm looking at that graphic and I'm not thinking that's a dreadful start.
Right.
Brentford and Brighton. No. Brentford, Championship side did well. They
did only win 4 of those games last year, what we were looking at there. 4 of 10.
Yeah, but they were garbage last year. Absolutely garbage. They were a shambles. They had a shambles of a manager, then they had a shambles of an interim manager, they had a shambles of a team, they had a shambles of a captain. Of course, they only won 4 of them. They were a shambles. So I'm looking at those games, Brentford and Brighton. Brighton are a good side, but they've just sold Basuma. Potter's a good manager. Yeah, then they've got Liverpool. Leicester had a bad season by their standards. There's loads of teams in there, Everton, Crystal Palace, decent under Patrick Vieira. In fact, they were better than decent last year. But it's not exactly a sleepless night start to the season. You're Manchester United, you're going to sign players, you get a new manager. So it's not as if it's like City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace, Liverpool. It's not like that. I mean, it's not that hard.
So let me
I'm
ask
up on this segment. No, I hope I am, because that's not a tough start.
OK, if it's not a tough start, if Erik ten Hag does struggle at the start of the season, how much trouble is he going to be in? Bearing in mind as well, there's going to be a break in play for the World Cup.
None. Not a sausage. Middle of the donut. That. 0. Right? United can't keep hiring and firing. He's got a great resume. We know he's a good coach. He needs time in there. There's a lot of dead wood. He's not going to get them all out. They're not sacking him. They lose 6 games in a row, they're not sacking him. I mean, we've got to get our head around this. It's not happening. They've made changes. Ed Woodward's not there anymore. There's changes in the football department. There's changes in the structure of the club. They've made on the face of it, they've made one of the best decisions to have for a long time. He's going to get time. This manager is going to get time because he has the credentials and the CV to do the job.
Frank, was that you I heard a from?
Excuse me?
I heard in the background when Craig said, none, he's going to be in no trouble. I heard someone go, and it sounded like you.
I agree. No, it wasn't me. I agree with Craig. I think there is no danger for the coach because I think Manchester United needs stability. And if I properly recall, I think it wasn't the fantastic success at the beginning for Sir Alex Ferguson, but they let him work quietly and making sure that the success will come over. And I think it's what's going to happen. And they have Brentford and Brighton for the first 2 games. If they win the 2 games, it's going to be 6 points. And after you go with the flow. And that's what it is in a football club, in the dressing room. You win 2 games and it goes well. If they lose those 2 games, that's going to be a problem. I don't think the coach is going to be sacked, but I think it's going to be a very bad time for the players because at some time, you have to point the players. You have to see, because the players that you are hiring with a high wage, you have to tell them and put them in front of their responsibilities. It cannot be the coach every time. It has to be the players at some point.
How do you see it, Jules? How important will a good start be for this Manchester United side under Ten Hag?
I mean, it's a cliche to say that it's always great if you can start well and win your first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, of course. I don't know how realistic it is to be asking for that kind of thing when it's a new manager, when we expect him. Well, it looks already that it's going to be a big overhaul of that dressing room and the squad because already a lot of free agents have left. Pogba, Matic, Lingard, Mata, all of them, some new faces will come. some will come soon, others will come probably late in this transfer window, and the season might have already started. So we saw with Arsenal, for example, last summer that the first 3 games of the season they could not play any of the 6 signings that they made in the summer, for example. So it's a very different team that you might start with and play your first 2 or 3 games than the one that you'll be able to field for the last 2 weeks of August, for example. So this all has to come in consideration. That's why I agree with Craig. It's difficult to look at those fixtures and start drawing a lot of things and reading a lot of things in them, because we don't know what team will be available for any of those teams, any of those managers. For all we know, Darwin Núñez might be injured in pre-season, might not be able to play the first games for Liverpool. Same with Holland and City. So you don't know who will be able to play, who will be fully fit, who won't be, for what kind of games. It's always so difficult to kind of predict in a way.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.